Dr. Patricia Reeves had spent 15 years building her reputation as one of Chicago's most dependable emergency room physicians. At 42, she commanded respect from colleagues and gratitude from countless patients whose lives she'd saved. Her daughter, Maya, had inherited that same dedication. The 20-year-old pre-med student at Northwestern University never missed a class and maintained a flawless 4.0 GPA, which is why Patricia's heart sank when Maya called her that Tuesday morning in October. "Mom, I need to tell you something," Maya said, her voice shaking. "I skipped my organic chemistry midterm yesterday." Patricia nearly dropped her coffee mug. "You did what?" "Maya, that exam was worth 30% of your grade." I know. But Mom, something happened on my way to campus. I saw this accident." "Maya, you can't just let me finish, please." Maya took a breath. There was this collision at the intersection near the L station. A delivery truck ran a red light and T-boned a sedan. The driver was trapped, bleeding from his head, and nobody was doing anything. Everyone was just standing there with their phones out, recording. I had my first aid kit in my backpack, so I ran over. Patricia felt her anger softening, but worry crept in to replace it. "Was he okay? Did you call 911? "Of course I did." "But Mom, the ambulance was 20 minutes out because of some protest blocking traffic downtown." This man was going into shock. I had to stabilize his neck, apply pressure to the wound, keep him conscious. By the time the paramedics arrived and I gave them my report, I'd missed the entire exam window. "Oh, sweetheart." Patricia rubbed her temples. "Did you explain to your professor?" "I tried. Professor Hendricks said university policy doesn't allow makeups for missed exams, no exceptions. He said if I cared about my education, I would have called campus security to handle it and gone to my exam." "That's ridiculous. You potentially saved someone's life." "He gave me a 0, Mom." "A 0? It's going to tank my GPA right before medical school applications." Patricia felt fury rising in her chest. "Give me his number. I'm calling him right now." "Mom, don't. It'll just make it worse. I already filed an appeal with the dean, but honestly, I'd do it again. That man has 3 kids. I saw their pictures in his wallet when I was checking for his ID. That was her daughter, brilliant, compassionate, and stubborn as hell. 3 days later, Maya was studying in the campus library when her phone buzzed with an unknown number. "Is this Maya Reeves?" a male voice asked. "Yes, who's calling?" "My name is Robert Chen. You might not remember me, but you saved my life on Tuesday." Maya's breath caught. "The accident, you're the driver. Are you okay?" "Thanks to you, yes. I got 23 stitches and a moderate concussion, but the doctors said if I'd lost any more blood, or if my spine had shifted before they immobilized it, I might not have made it." "Miss Reeves, I can't thank you enough. I'm just glad you're all right. How did you get my number?" "The paramedics had it in their report. I hope you don't mind, but I had to call. My kids wanted to meet the person who saved their daddy." Maya smiled, wiping away an unexpected tear. "I'd like that. There's something else," Robert continued, his tone shifting. "One of the paramedics mentioned you missed an important exam to help me. Is that true?" Maya hesitated. "It's not your fault. I made a choice. A choice that's costing you. I did some research, Miss Reeves. I know you're pre-med with a perfect record, and I know your professor gave you a 0. That's not right. Really, Mr. Chen, you don't need to worry about it. Please, call me Robert. And I do need to worry about it. You see, Maya, I'm not just a grateful father. I'm the CEO of Chen Pharmaceuticals." Maya blinked. Chen Pharmaceuticals. One of the largest drug manufacturers in the Midwest, worth billions. "I don't understand," Maya said slowly. "I'm going to make this right," Robert said firmly. "But I need to ask, what made you stop? Dozens of people walked past that intersection. Why did you help?" Maya thought about the question. "My mom's an ER doctor. She raised me to believe that if you have the ability to help someone and you don't, you're complicit in their suffering. I had training. I had supplies. How could I just walk away?" There was a long pause. "Your mother raised you well. I'm going to call your dean." "No, please don't, Maya, I'm one of the university's largest donors. Trust me, they'll take my call." Professor Hendricks was having a particularly satisfying afternoon when his secretary informed him the dean wanted to see him immediately. "Probably about the Patterson endowment," he muttered, straightening his tie. He'd been angling for that research funding for months. Dean Morrison's face was unreadable when Hendricks entered her office. Beside her sat a man in an expensive suit, Asian, mid-40s, with the kind of quiet confidence that came from serious wealth. Professor Hendricks, this is Robert Chen, Dean Morrison said. CEO of Chen Pharmaceuticals. Hendricks' eyes widened. Chen Pharmaceuticals had donated a new science building just 2 years ago. Mr. Chen has brought a concern to my attention, the dean continued, her voice cool. Regarding a student named Maya Reeves. Hendricks felt his stomach drop. Ah, yes. Miss Reeves missed a midterm, because she was saving my life, Robert interjected, his tone sharp. While I was bleeding out in a crushed car, your student used her medical training to keep me stable until paramedics arrived. The EMT's report confirms she performed a textbook emergency response. She quite literally saved my life. That's very unfortunate about your accident, Mr. Chen, but university policy, your policy, Robert said, leaning forward, punishes students for performing emergency medical care that saved a man's life. Do you understand how that sounds? What message does that send to future doctors? Hendricks cleared his throat. Mr. Chen, with all due respect, if we make exceptions for every student with an excuse, this isn't an excuse, the dean interrupted. Professor Hendricks, I've reviewed Maya's appeal. She provided the police report, the paramedics' documentation, and a statement from Mr. Chen's trauma surgeon confirming that her intervention was medically necessary and likely life-saving. This is exactly the kind of real-world application of medical knowledge we claim to value. But the policy explicitly states, the policy allows for extraordinary circumstances, at the dean's discretion, Morrison said firmly. This qualifies. Maya will receive a makeup exam, and her original 0 will be expunged from her record. Hendricks opened his mouth to protest, but Robert spoke first. There's something else, the CEO said. Professor, do you know what really separates good doctors from great ones? It's not just knowledge. It's the courage to act when others freeze. It's the character to sacrifice something important, like a crucial exam, because someone's life hangs in the balance. Maya Reeves demonstrated both. He pulled out his phone and showed them a photo, 3 children, the youngest barely 5, grinning at the camera. These are my kids. Because of Maya's choice, they still have a father. Because of your policy, she almost lost her future. I hope you can see why that troubles me deeply. Hendricks felt his face burning. I understand. I'll prepare a makeup exam. Make it fair, Dean Morrison added. Not punitive. 2 weeks later, Maya aced her makeup exam. The incident had made local news, and several medical schools reached out to express interest in her application. But Maya tried to keep her head down and focus on her studies. Then, one Saturday morning, she heard a sound that made her run to her window. A helicopter was descending onto the small park across from her apartment building. Her mother came rushing into her room. Maya, what on earth? The helicopter landed, and Robert Chen stepped out, followed by his 3 children. Maya and Patricia hurried downstairs. I hope we're not intruding, Robert said with a grin. But I promised my kids they could meet their hero, and I thought I'd deliver the news in person. What news? Maya asked, bewildered. Robert handed her an envelope. Inside was a letter from the Chen Foundation. It's a full-ride scholarship, Robert explained. Undergraduate, medical school, and a guaranteed residency position at Chicago Memorial when you graduate. Plus a research stipend, because I read your paper on antibiotic resistance and it was brilliant. Maya's hands trembled. I can't accept this. It's too much, you can and you will, Robert said gently. Maya, you gave me everything when you stopped to help a stranger. The least I can do is make sure you become the doctor you're meant to be. His youngest daughter tugged on his sleeve. Daddy, is this the angel lady? Robert scooped her up. Yes, sweetheart. This is the angel lady who saved Daddy. The little girl looked at Maya with huge brown eyes. Thank you for saving my daddy. I love him very much. Maya felt tears streaming down her face. Patricia wrapped an arm around her daughter's shoulders. There's no obligation, Robert added. But I'm also establishing a scholarship fund at Northwestern specifically for students pursuing medicine. It's called the Maya Reeves Emergency Response Scholarship. It will reward students who demonstrate both academic excellence and the courage to help others, even when it costs them something. I don't know what to say, Maya whispered. Say you'll accept, Patricia urged, her own eyes glistening. Baby, you earned this. Robert nodded. Your professor was wrong, Maya. The grade isn't what matters. What matters is that when you were faced with a choice between your future and a stranger's life, you chose compassion. That's the kind of doctor the world needs. 4 years later, Maya Reeves graduated summa cum laude from Northwestern's medical school. Robert Chen and his family sat in the front row at her graduation, and when Maya crossed the stage to receive her diploma, they stood and applauded until the entire auditorium joined them. In her valedictorian speech, Maya told the story of that October morning, the choice she'd made, the professor who punished her, and the man whose life intersected with hers at exactly the right moment. I learned something that day, she told her fellow graduates. Medicine isn't just about memorizing facts or passing exams. It's about recognizing that every person you encounter, on the street, in the ER, in the back of an ambulance, is someone's entire world. They are someone's parent, someone's child, someone's reason for getting up in the morning. Professor Hendricks tried to teach me that policies matter more than people. But Robert Chen and his beautiful children taught me the opposite. They taught me that when we choose compassion over convenience, when we risk something for the sake of another human being, we create ripples that spread farther than we can imagine. I skipped an exam to save a stranger. He landed a helicopter in my neighborhood to change my life. That's the kind of medicine I want to practice, the kind where we see each other not as statistics or policies or inconveniences, but as human beings worthy of our very best effort, even when it costs us something. The auditorium erupted in applause. In the front row, Robert Chen wiped his eyes and thought about how a split second, a moment of choosing to run toward danger instead of away from it, had saved his life and launched a brilliant young doctor toward her destiny. Sometimes the most important lessons don't come from textbooks. Sometimes they come from the courage to stop, to help, and to believe that one person's choice can change everything.